Hi everyone, it's Amy, the roaming historian, and today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the Vatican and my recent Vatican tour. I'm just going to have some pictures playing here on the side, and I've been to the Vatican now. Thankfully, I've been privileged enough to go to Rome. Probably, I can't even tell you, but it's definitely been over a dozen times. And I've been at the Vatican many, many times in various forms. And so this time was with LivTour on an Vatican tour at night, they called it. And so it was an evening tour, which was a time I had never seen the Vatican. I've seen the Vatican museums in the morning, I've seen them in the afternoon. I've seen them when they're so crowded you can't get past, but I've also been there, at the crack of dawn, I've seen them in various, iterations. And we met up with our guide, Paula, and Paula was across the street where people meet. So the Vatican museums, when you get to Vatican City, there's St. Peter's. The St. Peter's is in the front. If you're looking at St. Peter's Basilica, to the right is the Sistine Chapel, and then behind that are the Vatican museums. And so you actually kind of go behind, that's where the entrance is. And you walk in and you go through security and things. So we met up with her though across the street at a cafe where you often meet your guides. And she asked, well, is it your first time? And, we said, no, fortunately, we've been privileged enough to be here many times. And so then she really reorganized around us. And that's why I recommend guides. I especially recommend LivTours because they do small, even their non-private, their semi-private tours are 6 people or fewer generally. So they also have some specials with the Vatican that are exclusive to them. And so knowing that we were alone and knowing that my husband's mobility challenged, she gave us a tour that I had never seen before. And so that was really cool. She really focused on Raphael. Raphael is my husband's favorite artist. And so she focused on Raphael. We went to the Pinacoteca, and we did all the normal things. Here's a famous outlook over the garden with St. Peter's dome in the background there. And of course, we went there and took that tour. And then there's Paola with us outside. That's afterwards. We went to the Hall of Maps. We went to, like I said, the Pinacoteca, where I saw some art, and she really was, very cool about talking to us about what we were seeing, and pieces that I had never seen before. Like this one right here, I thought this was Botticelli, but it's Malozzo da Forli. Some tapestries here. We're looking at tapestries. Look at this one of the Last Supper. I mean, it's hard to believe. And that was Raphael's Transfiguration. Um, Ponte Sant'Angelo leads the bridge that leads there is designed with Bernini sculptures, and there was one of the sculptures. And so we went through the Hall of Maps. We of course, did the pine cone courtyard. Here it is, the Cortile Pinecone Courtyard. We, did the things like the Egyptian area. I love that seagull there taking a bath. And saw the wonderful museum. So when they say the Vatican museums or Musei Vaticani, they're talking about there are several different museums in museums. So you'll have a Roman and Greek in here. We're looking at Roman and Greek sculptures, and you'll have an area that has like the Pinacoteca, where it's primarily it's tapestries and paintings. You'll have areas where they'll have more ancient things. Like here, we're looking at porphyry, I think from Napoleon's time, but also more ancient that he had, usurped. You'll go down the Hall of Maps and the Hall of Tapestries. This one looks like Jesus's eyes are following you. Here's the Hall of Maps. You'll go to the Raphael rooms where Raphael painted and see the famous School of Athens here. And then you end up where we can't take any pictures, which is the Sistine Chapel, and see Michelangelo's ceiling. But also one of the things that was great is that, Paula wasn't reading from a script. She wasn't showing us anything on a little, there's Vermont area. She wasn't showing us anything on a tablet or in a book. She took us to places like this and shows the whole landscape of Vatican and what Vatican City looks like. And she talked to us about just the littlest things. And I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. And I just recommend doing it. I've got some links below for our tour, for other tours. They have one for the Key Masters where you get to literally open the Vatican. It's very, very, very limited. In fact, we were there we were in Italy for about 2 months this time, and I still couldn't find the time that we were there that I could have done it. So, but check everything out and let me know in the comments below. Have you been to the Vatican? What did you think? How bad were the crowds? Were you able to see the Sistine Chapel? Have you been to St. Peter's Basilica? I'd love to hear from you. Ciao for now.